Well, this here is the Nissan Magnite. Now, I've already driven the car once before, but I did not drive the CVT version so extensively. So today I've got the CVT automatic version for you, and we all know that the Magnite offers you great value. So I'll not tell you about those things, but today I'll sit inside, show you the interiors once again, and also tell you about the CVT gearbox. So let's flip this video around, talk about the driving bits first, and after that do the other bits of the interiors as well as the rear seat, etc., and then give you a verdict of just how good the new Nissan Magnite CVT automatic really is. Let's get started with this video, but before that, here's a quick message from our sponsors. Well, I'm sure by now all of you are aware that Woodmore are the online expert when it comes to spare parts, and the best point is that they have the spare parts for all vehicles available in India. So even if your car is out of production now, maybe you have a last generation model, even then they have the spare part available. They have the entire catalog, and the best point is that they have the same spare part from a host of different component makers, which gives you great flexibility in the pricing overall. So check them out today. Check out the app. It's available both for iOS as well as Android devices, and also check out the website for the latest schemes as well as offers. Woodmore.com, the expert of online spare parts. Now, we've already driven the manual version of the car. We've given you an extensive review of that car. You can check it out on the channel. But of course, today we're talking about the automatic version, the CVT version of the car, which I hadn't driven properly during the test drive. I'd driven very briefly, but today I've got a more extensive time to spend with the car. And I really have to admire what the Nissan engineers and their technicians have done with this gearbox, because this CVT gearbox seems to be a very natural alliance with this 1 litre turbocharged petrol engine. And in the manual version, the turbo engine feels a little lazy to respond to your throttle inputs. Initial pickup is a little hesitant in the manual version, which I drove, and that's because of the turbo. But in this CVT automatic version, that is quite well managed, and it's very easy to see how the CVT gearbox works with this car, because it is a seamless combination. It's a smooth gearbox, the engine feels refined, and even when you really press the accelerator pedal hard, yes, of course, there is that rubber band effect which is there on all CVT cars. It does take a couple of seconds for the engine to respond after the revs mount up to your throttle inputs, but it is there, something which is on all other cars, so no reason to complain. But performance is quite good. The stability of this car is well within acceptable limits, and it is at par with its main rivals, the Hyundai Venue as well as the Kia Sonet. And I think the softer suspension setup compared to those cars makes this a better car for driving within city limits. If you are someone who drives mostly within the city, then I think you'll prefer the suspension setup on this car, because it feels very composed, it feels very high-end, and it definitely seems more absorbent than those other rivals. On the highway also, if you keep it about 100 or 110 kph, it feels stable enough, and that's a good thing for most car buyers, because most of them don't drive like maniacs out there on the road. What you will like, of course, is the light steering wheel. It's a very ultra light steering wheel, so you can actually move it with your little finger, or even this one. Of course, it's something I won't recommend, but just to prove a point, it is a very light steering wheel, so it won't tire you out. And the other good point about this car is the fact that you sit up really nice and high. The side view mirrors are big, the mirror in the middle is quite nice and large, and you get a good view of everything around you. So the visibility also from this car is quite good, which makes it a very good overall package. And essentially what I'm trying to say is that the CVT version of the Nissan Magnite, the automatic CVT version, is the one to go for if you're in the market with this kind of budget and you're planning to buy Magnite or any kind of car in this segment for about 9-10 lakh rupees. Then my money will definitely be on the CVT version. It is a better option compared to the manual. The manual is also quite okay, don't get me wrong, but it just feels a little lazy in terms of the engine responsiveness. It just feels like you're using the clutch and the gearbox too much to get the engine in the best power band. But on the CVT, it just feels completely effortless. So when you're driving this car on the highway, you're doing speeds in excess of about 80 or 90 kph. The engine is around 2200-2300 RPM, which makes the cabin feel nice and quiet as well. And when you're cruising in this car, the engine is actually quite nice and smooth and doesn't feel obtrusive inside. Only noise is actually from the tires when driving at that speed. Well, I'm inside the cabin of the Nissan Magnite, and I have to say that this car offers you a nice and feel-good cabin. It's a very open cabin and a very airy cabin, so you definitely have a sense of positivity. In terms of the features, you get really all the bells and whistles. wireless charging for your mobile phone, automatic AC, as well as wireless connection for your Android devices as well as for Apple CarPlay. Also, you get digital display for the gauges, and you also get tire pressure monitor, which is something it is great value at this price point. Now, some highlights of the cabin also include the fact that the seat comfort is very good, and even though the armrest doesn't open up, but you can easily rest your arm here, and there's cloth material over here, which definitely feels nicer than just hard plastics which you find on some other rivals. And there's plenty of cloth material and soft touch cloth as well for your place to rest your elbow over here on the door pads. So overall, a very nice place to be. Lots of features, lots of kit, good design, good finishing, good materials. I think the front end of the Magnite's cabin deserves a double thumbs up from my side. Now let's jump in the back seat and see how good that really is. Well, so inside the back seat now of the Nissan Magnite. Now, surprisingly, this car offers you very good knee room and very generous headroom as well. Surprising because it is, of course, a compact SUV, and a lot of other compact SUVs don't offer you this kind of space in the back. So that's something which is a big benefit, a big boon. You also get AC vents and a 12-volt charging point, and the floorboard is almost completely flat. There's a very marginal hump. You can easily ignore it because it is very marginal. So it is actually a good car for 3 occupants. There's also an armrest and a couple of beverage holders, as well as a small place where you can keep your phone like this. Now, the good point, just like the front seats, is that the armrest on the door pad is all lined up with the cloth. It isn't just plastic, hard plastic. So that's something which is good. You can easily rest your elbow over here, or just sit like this and sleep off on that long highway trip, because it is a very comfortable place. The seats are very comfortable, and space also is quite nice. If you're a chauffeur driven passenger, you always sit in the back seat and always prefer to be chauffeur driven. This is a great car for all those journeys. I give it a double thumbs up and a strong score of 9 out of 10. Well, so if you're in the market for a compact SUV and you want an automatic option and you don't really want to stretch your budget beyond 10 lakh rupees, then I think the Nissan Magnite is the best option out there for you. It offers you a very pliant ride, it offers you very roomy back seat, and it offers you very good looks as well as features, and it all comes well within that 10 lakh rupee price, which makes it a very good value for money car as well. And in short, what I'm trying to say is that if you're in the market for a compact SUV which is an automatic in petrol, then definitely the top of your shortlist should be with the Nissan Magnite. So bye for now, and thanks for watching.